So, what do you reckon's going on between Jack and the Sarge?
What? I don't think anything's going on, Joe.
Oh, so why does she suddenly have it in for him?
She doesn't have it in for him.
She just tried to dump this shift on him after he just worked a full day.
She called you in too.
It's no secret she's got it in for me. But lately, Jack's been her favourite. Don't you reckon?
Our sergeant doesn't work like that.
Yes, she does. Now that she's even turned on her favourite, well...
Mount Thomas 900 to Mount Thomas 204.
Now you've upset her.
204 received. Sarge, hi. What's happening?
It's Bernie Peters.
Harrison Rouse is up his old tricks
Here we go again.
Report over trespass at
The Progress Cinema, 61 Penhope Road. Mr. Peters will meet you at the back entrance.
Enjoy.
204 received. We're on our way.
Bernie Peters. This should be fun.
Her ears must have been burning.
So where's Bernie?
After you? Was that?
Couldn't be. Mount Thomas 204 to VKC. We're code 5 at the last. Possible shots fired. Police, don't move! Did somebody call for help?
Get off!
Get out of the way!
Stuart!
Box?
What the hell are you two
Got a call from Sergeant Garrick, something about a trespass. We heard
I've
shots.
been assaulted. So I'd come down here to the basement to get the third reel, and I was just going upstairs again when I suddenly hear a noise. And I turn around and bang! My glasses came off.
Did you get a good look at whoever it was?
Oh, now look, I'm practically blind without my glasses. But then he hit me again, and I think I must have hit my head here on the banister as I fell.
You sure it was a man?
Well, yes, I could tell that much.
Did you notice anything else? The sound of his voice, the colour of what he was wearing?
Well, it was all so quick. No, he didn't say anything. He just pushed me to one side and scurried up the stairs.
Harrison, are you absolutely sure that somebody was down here?
Of course I'm sure. Do you think I'd make something like this up? Someone was here. I saw him.
Good, you found him. You're turfing him out, I hope.
Mr. Peters.
I see it was you, wasn't it?
What's he on about?
First he tries to pull down the progress, and then you try to kill me. He won't stop at anything till he gets his hands on this place. We don't need your shopping centre here.
I own the building, giving him any number of notices to quit, and each time he's ignored my requests. I'm perfectly within my rights.
Hang on, hasn't there been an application made for a heritage
The
order?
application was overturned. I've just come from the council meeting.
That was tonight.
I can knock this place down whenever I like.
That can't be.
I want him arrested for trespass.
Is that really necessary?
It's probably better you're not in here when the walls come down, but on the other hand...
All right, calm down, will you?
Are you going to arrest him or not?
Right now, I'm taking Mr. Rouse to the hospital. We'll sort the rest of this out tomorrow. Here you go. Why would Bernie Peters want to assault you?
I'm standing in the way of his development. Of course he's going to go the knuckle. Surprised he hasn't tried to get a contract down on me.
I'm afraid real life is a little more complicated than the pictures.
And you think I can't tell the difference?
All I'm saying is that for a man with your enthusiasm, I can see how the line might become blurred.
Boss, can't we do something?
I'm afraid not. The law says that Harrison has to quit the premises.
Well, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?
Well, there are other things to life besides watching films.
Not for me, there aren't.
Harrison, you've put up a good fight, but maybe it's time to let the bug house go.
No. I can't do that.
Do you mind telling us your movements last night?
You're not taking that little weirdo seriously, I hope.
If you wouldn't mind.
I left the council meeting at about 8. Went straight to the cinema, and that idiot was showing a movie, so I rang your lot and waited for you at the back.
Yes, but you weren't there when we arrived.
I got tired of waiting. It was cold, so I went inside.
Did you go anywhere near the basement?
Of course not. Look, if he asked me, he'd probably push himself down the stairs.
Why would he do that?
How should I know? He's Troppo. Look, in this way, he looks like the victim, doesn't he? The poor battler caught up in a David and Goliath struggle, and I'm the villain, the big bad developer. And that's how the newspapers are telling it. Hey, but I'm the one who's creating jobs, right?
So you deny assaulting him?
If I had assaulted him, he wouldn't have got up in a hurry.
Why do they call it the bug house anyway?
I don't know, for the same reason they call the Lyceum the Louse House, I
I've got to
suppose.
say, though, Bernie's right. Nobody really ever goes there anymore.
Not if you want to see a film made in the last 50 years.
Excuse me, I go there occasionally.
I don't mind the old films once in a while.
Well, at least one of you isn't a total Philistine.
But there's something pretty weird about that guy that runs the place.
Harrison is harmless.
Yeah, and weird.
He just has an overactive imagination, that's all.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind taking a bit more time to check out his story.
All right, help yourself, but I think you're wasting your time.
Mr. Croydon,
Lindsay, I heard you were out.
2 weeks last Monday. Place looks the same. Different crew, eh?
Well, it has been 8 years.
8 years.
What can I do for you?
Something I wanted to talk to you about. Something private. Ah, the Queen. Some things never change, eh?
Have a seat.
How's this young Susan?
That's right. She lives in Melbourne now.
Oh, and I was sorry to hear about your good lady wife.
Thanks. So, you going to stay in Mount Thomas?
Don't really know anywhere else. Except the Nick, eh?
Then what have you got planned?
I've learned me lesson, Mr. Croydon.
Yeah, well, you were well and truly out of your depth there, Linz.
Oh, I let you down badly, Mr. Croydon. I won't do it again.
So you'll stay on the straight and narrow?
Yeah. But this, living on the straight and narrow's pretty hard on the wallet. I was wondering if you could see your way clear to lend me a couple of bob just till next week. 50 will do me.
Look, Lindsay, I can't lend you money. But there is something I can do for you.
You reckon I am St. Vincent de bloody Paul?
He's a hard worker.
Yeah, but what's his trade? Being a crook?
Well, for what it's worth, he wasn't a very good one.
Mr. Croydon here was one step ahead of me every time.
Look, I don't know about this, Tom.
Well, it's up to you, but you're the one who said you wanted to create new jobs.
I won't let you down, Mr. Peters.
Well, if you do, you're out of here. End of story.
Boss, could you sign off this report for me, please? So who was the old crook that was in before?
Lindsay John Kavanagh.
Yeah, was he local?
Through and through. Spent my first 20 years here putting him through the books. I saw more of him than I did of Nell.
And what did he go away for?
Armed robbery in the end, which was totally out of character. He's completely harmless.
No such thing as a harmless crook.
Boss, just heard from Jo at the cinema. It seems she's got a bit of a problem. Yeah, I'll send Jack.
It's all right, I'll handle it.
Sorry, boss. Things were getting out of hand.
We need access to shut off the plumbing.
Harrison, we've talked about this. You really have no right to keep him out.
He has every right to stand up and defend this building.
I'm sorry, you are...
Ray Bradford.
Would you mind telling me what any of this has got to do with you?
Well, I read about what's going on up here in the Melbourne papers. Drove up as soon as I could.
You can bloody turn around and go back again. It's got nothing to do with you, mate. I own this property.
Do you have any idea how rare this building is?
There are bloody hundreds of these eyesores around.
Oh, not anymore. They keep getting knocked down by greedy bastards like you.
Tom, I've got to get in here. The bulldozers are coming tomorrow.
Does Harrison really need to get out today?
I hope he does.
Couldn't you come back tomorrow with your dozers?
I've got things to organise in there, Tom, before we knock it down.
How long is that going to take you, really?
What is it? It's police pressure. One more day.
Talking that man round is no mean feat, boss.
Yeah.
So, what's the last picture show?
Tora, Tora, Tora.
Oh, the film's so good they named it 3 times.
It's a war movie.
Pity I'm busy.
Hey, here's one for the books. Cold Burger, Wally Ogden's tool hire.
What's missing?
Electric jackhammer, grinder and a drill.
Sounds like someone's planning a renovation.
Yeah, funny that. There was much more expensive tools lying around. There was $500 in the till and it was still there.
What sort of thief doesn't check the till?
Someone that was looking for specific tools.
What would I do with a jackhammer?
I would have thought it'd come in handy for someone in your profession.
Don't have a profession.
Don't be modest, Linz. I've been having a little squiz at your prize.
I'm retired. I learned me lesson. Ask Mr. Croydon, he knows.
Where were you last night?
Home. Where do you reckon?
Where's home?
Wombat Creek Caravan Park.
Anyone see you there?
I just got out. I hadn't had much time to make new friends.
Do you mind if we search your van?
Get yourself a warrant. You're more than welcome.
You haven't got anything to hide, have you, Lindsay?
No. It's like Mr. Croydon taught me. There's ways of doing things. Can't say I think much of your new crew, Mr. Croydon. Not on prison form, anyway.
They're after my collection.
What collection?
My posters, stills, merchandise.
Don't look at me. I'll be off then.
Yeah, OK, Linz. All right, Harrison, calm down. What's missing?
Well, it must have been what they were doing when I disturbed them last night. Somebody's been going through the cartons in the basement. My memorabilia.
Let's not get carried away.
Well, or Bernie Peters is trying to rob me before he kicks me out.
How can you be sure that anything's actually missing?
Look, I know what I know.
I'll go check it out if you like.
Yes, all right.
How long have you been collecting all this stuff for, Harrison?
Since I was about 10. Used to keep it all at home, but Mum says we don't have any space anymore, so...
Oh, you live with your mum, do you?
What's wrong with that? Oh, careful with that.
Sorry.
That was actually used in Yojimbo. Kurosawa. You know, samurais.
Oh, just as well whoever attacked you last night didn't find it, eh?
Oh, well, I was just about to move all this when I noticed it. These are the boxes that have been tampered with.
Now, how can you be so sure?
Well, I know where everything is. I've got an alphabetical system. And look, the Hitchcock box is on top of Buster Keaton.
What's that?
There you go.
Oh, careful.
What have you been up to here, Harrison?
I've never seen it before.
It's a hell of a job getting through all these bricks. Somebody's bloody keen.
Is there anything in there?
No. And it doesn't go back very far. There's not much you could hide in there.
So what's the point of it?
And why would you dig a hole once you'd broken in?
Maybe a hidden body.
I'll take it easy. It's just a hole, Harrison.
Or a tunnel, like Starlag 17.
Hey?
Billy Wilder.
Why would anyone want to tunnel their way out of here?
Maybe they were tunnelling too somewhere.
Oh, not you two.
The building next door is the community bank. Spoke to Kevin Sutton at the bank. He laughed.
Well, someone might think it was possible to tunnel in. I mean, in theory, at least.
Well, it's a lot of effort, and it's not as if the bank holds more than 4 or 5 grand at any one time anyway.
That's a lot of money to some people.
Oh, come on, Jake. It'd take weeks to dig a tunnel. It's just not worth it. Either it's a very stupid bank robber or one with a lot of patience.
Yeah, or one with a lot of time on his hands who claims to be retired.
It couldn't be Lindsay. I just got him a job, besides which this is not his type of thing.
Boss, he does have form.
I'm not saying he's a saint, it's just not him.
Maybe it's his new way of breaking into banks.
He's not your man, but go ahead and talk to him if you really must.
Thank you very much for thinking of me. Very flattering. Well, I didn't do it.
I don't know, a bloke like you looks like he'd be pretty handy with a shovel. Or a jackhammer.
Well, I'm not saying I wouldn't be capable of carrying it off. I reckon I'd make a good fist of tunnelling into a bank. But I didn't. Not my style, ask Mr. Croydon.
Come on, Lindsay, you're a big boy now. You don't need to hang on to my coattail.
There's an impressive variety of styles on your list of priors here. I reckon you'd be very adept at trying your hand at something new.
I'll say one thing about your new crew. They're persistent. Good sense of humour, too. Can you picture me tunnelling into a bank?
Do you mind telling us where you were last night, Mr. Kavanagh?
This one's good. I'm beginning to take a shine to her. Polite. I was in me van.
Was anyone with you?
No.
Would anyone at the caravan park have seen you?
No idea.
Do you mind if we search?
I've already had this conversation with your detective.
Yes, but this time we'll have a warrant.
And thorough.
The man is a 60-something petty crook. He's not going to spend months tunnelling under the Mount Thomas Community Bank.
Well, we've got to consider him to be a possibility. He's fit enough.
And he's not that petty a crook either. I did a little bit of extra homework on him and dug up that file the armed robbery went down for. Turns out he put a gun in a teller's face and told him he was going to die. I'd put that in the Major League.
Did you know about that?
Of course I knew about it, Parish, and it's inexcusable. But he's done his time, and I believe him when he says he's out of the game. He's always been completely straight with me.
We should be leaning on him.
We have been leaning on him. We've interviewed him on 2 separate occasions, and as a result have no reason to charge him with anything.
But we do have a warrant.
All right, search his van. I'm very happy to be proven wrong.
Not much to search. I just moved in. Most of me kip's in here.
And is that your car out there too?
Too right. Watered new in 1968. Still got the original paintwork.
My uncle's a holding man.
Can't go wrong with him, I reckon.
You're planning on picking a lock or two, Lindsay?
Tools of the trade.
Thought you'd retired.
That's right. I keep them for old time's sake.
These tools would have seen a lot of service over the years.
And if he's got them with him.
This doesn't prove that he's our tunneler.
Well, they'd only be good for doors, wouldn't they? You wouldn't be able to pick any of the locks inside the bank.
It's not looking very good for your crook, mate.
I'm prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt.
He's got no money, he's got no alibi, and he knows how to pick locks.
Well, he's not about to be doing any more tunnelling tonight. I'm going home to get changed. I've got a movie to get to.
Oh, not Tora.
It happens to be a very good film. And it'll be my last chance to go to the bug house, if anybody would care to join me.
No, thanks.
Yeah, I might come along, actually, boss.
Good.
You like war movies, DJ?
I'd be delighted to have your company.
Yeah, I might go along a bit early, see if I can have another chat to Harrison too. Does it really matter if the place is clean? The whole building's coming down tomorrow.
It matters to me.
It's not the end of the world, you know. You'll still be able to go to the movies.
To the multiplex in St David's, not the same.
Movies are movies, aren't they?
There's no magic in a multiplex.
Guess not.
The first time I came here to the old Progress Cinema was 1963. Mum and Dad had been fighting as usual. Mum wanted me out of the way, so down I came. Touch of evil. I was only 12. The first time I saw that crane shot, I was a goner. Anyway, I suppose this is progress. Well, there you go. Do you want to have the final roll down the aisle?
Sorry?
Why would you do a thing like that?
We all did it.
Roll lollies down the floor.
It was a tradition.
Waste of good lollies. I mean, did you eat them afterwards?
The bug house was the place to be on a Saturday night. It was packed.
That's right. Nell and I did most of our courting there.
Can't imagine you sucking face in the back row, boss.
Oh, you're such a class act, Harry.
They were silent movies back then, too, weren't they?
Very funny.
Mr. Bruin, sorry to barge in, but I may need that $50 after all.
What's happened?
Mr. Peters didn't care much for me leaving in the middle of the day in the company of the police. Give me the boot.
He sacked you. Bloody burning.
You blokes did a top job.
Here?
Oh, you're rude of me to say no, Mr. Bruin.
Well, that's the least I can do in the
There's still time to save our cinema from the development.
What's this?
It's a petition.
It's a bit late, isn't it? The bulldozers are moving in tomorrow.
There you go. I don't know what good it'll do, but...
I'll leave you to it, Mr. Bruin.
Rightio, Vince.
What about you? Support your cinema?
I voted for the development. Not all new development is bad.
Look, they're going to tear down another beautiful old building and replace it with what? A shopping centre.
Tom, we've all got fond memories of the bug house, but when was the last time you were there?
Well-
Apart from the last 2 nights, I think.
I've been meaning to get along.
We all know Harrison lost the plot years ago. No one wants to see those kind of movies anymore.
They're good movies, old movies.
Yeah, I know, but the only reason people have been going lately is because we all know it's our last chance.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
This is going to mean more jobs for the town. There's going to be more money circulating around. Some of the young kids might be able to stay. That can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, but at what cost?
Well, not everything that is old is worth preserving.
You'd think differently if they were going to tear this joint. What happened to you?
I was just minding my own business and done.
And you've got no idea who it was?
Didn't see a thing.
So what were you doing snooping around upstairs anyway?
Good question.
No snooping, Mr. Croydon. I knew there was another WC up there.
A WC?
Well, I wanted a bit of privacy, you know.
Oh, come on, Lindsay, you've just spent 8 years in prison. Did you get any privacy there?
That's right.
So you're in the upstairs dunny minding your own business and somebody thumps you and you didn't see anything at all?
Can't help bad luck.
He knows exactly who hit him and why.
So why isn't he saying anything?
He doesn't want to incriminate himself.
Lindsay follows the code.
He'd probably fell out with a mate over the bank tunnel job.
So now he's involved in some international syndicate of tunnellers.
He's not going to be digging that tunnel on his own.
Well, he's small time. This isn't his style. Is it, boss?
No, but he definitely knows more than he's letting on. Right, let's start with the guests, eh?
Yeah, right. Constable Parish, Mount Thomas Police. Sorry to disturb you.
Oh, I was just about to call you lot. He was trying to break into my room.
What time did this happen, Mr. Bradford?
15, 20 minutes ago.
So about 11.
Yeah, that's right. I just got back for the night.
Is it possible he just mixed up the rooms?
I don't think so, Constable.
So what did you do?
I fronted him. He took a swing at me without batting an eyelid.
Well, then what?
Well, I got a jab or two in, then he ran off.
This man, would you recognise him if you saw him again?
Yeah. It was that old bloke at the bar. The one you were having a drink with.
Oh, come on, Lindsay. I can understand that you don't want to lag, but you've got to start looking after yourself.
I do look after myself, Mr. Croydon. That's why I'm choosing to say nothing further on the subject.
You could be looking at an assault charge. Burglary.
I'm keeping my nose clean.
Well, you're not doing a very good job of it so far. You couldn't even last one day in a real job.
Not really my fault. I would have been on Clover if it hadn't been for a surprise taxi ride from your eager young crew. I think it's time you taught them a bit about discretion.
I really do want to help you, Lindsay, but you've got to talk to me.
Oh, I know you're trying to help me, Mr. Croydon. You're talking a lot of sense. But I got very good reason for keeping stum on this.
If this is about the money, I'll lend you the $50. Just tell me what's going on. Are you trying to get back inside? Is that what you're trying to organise?
Retirement is what I'm trying to organise.
By knocking off rooms at the Imperial? By tunnelling into the bank? Are you working with somebody else on this? Is that what's going on here?
Just some unfinished business.
What sort of unfinished business?
I can sort this out on my own.
Lindsay, you know the deal. You've only just now got out. You don't want to blot your copybook.
Nothing to say.
What the hell is Lindsay up to?
Could he be covering for someone else?
Yeah, but like who?
Well, not his old mates. We've been through the list, and most of the old buggers are past it now.
Thank you very much, Parrot. Bradford, the bloke who thumped Lindsay, run him through Leap, will you?
Sure, mate.
What, you think he's lying?
I'm just covering all possibilities.
I know where my money is.
But what reason would Bradford have to lie?
That's what I'd like to know.
Clean as a whistle, boss.
Right, so we're back to square one. Lindsay Kavanagh tried to break in, Bradford caught him, and then Lindsay assaulted him.
There's more to this.
Yeah, which we're never going to find out if neither party will talk to us.
Sorry, boss. Sometimes you can't teach an old crook new tricks.
He's there. He's there now.
Well, Harrison, who's where?
Digging. I heard digging down the basement.
Did you see them?
Well, I'm not going down there on my own, but I did hear a jackhammer.
Joe, you and Ben better check it out.
Come on, Harrison.
I'm not going back there.
Ben, maybe if you go and I'll stay here and look after Harrison. There you go.
I should have gone with them, but I just couldn't face it.
Ben and Jack will look after it, Harrison. It's okay.
There's someone there, I know there is. It's like having a huge poisonous spider living under your bed.
Like an arachnophobia. Never mind. Look, if there is someone there, the boys will find them.
I don't think they believe me. Oh, that's okay. Police didn't believe me before.
When you were assaulted in the basement?
No, years ago when I was just a kid. People think that I'm like Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. I'm not, you know. I can tell the difference between reality and make-believe. Could you get me some sugar, please?
Yeah.
Complete waste of time.
No one digging a tunnel?
The basement was entirely undisturbed. He's imagined it. He's cooked up the whole story to get attention, if you ask me.
Hang on a second. He's in there and he's terrified.
Oh, did you give him a hug?
Do you want to smack in the teeth? Look, he really believes he heard someone.
Harrison always believes his stories.
Some people hear voices, he hears jackhammers.
Well, there was a hole there before. We saw it.
Which he could have dug himself.
They didn't believe me, did they?
No,
Okay. Well, best be going.
they don't, but I do. You've been scared by something and I want to know what it is.
Well, I've already told you.
Everything?
Look, let's just leave it, eh?
Look, you can help us make sense of all this, can't you? Put together the pieces of the puzzle?
Like in Maltese Falcon.
No, Harrison. No movies. What were you saying before about them not believing you as a kid?
I'm not going to talk about all that.
You said something when we found that hole in your basement.
Yeah?
You said someone could have buried a body, and you didn't mention the movie. Was that what you saw all those years ago?
I saw a fight behind the cinema. It was serious. There was a gun, a lot of blood. It was terrifying. I talked to the police about it. I talked to them for a long time. They asked me a lot of questions, and they didn't believe me.
I believe you. He says he saw a murder behind the progress in 1969 when he was just a kid.
1969. Bit before my time.
Harrison hasn't forgotten a thing, remembers all the names. A Detective Barnes and a Sergeant Mackay came up from homicide in June of that year to question him.
And?
Might have something to do with everything that's going on now.
I think perhaps you're spending a bit too much time with him.
He saw two men fighting. One of them had a gun. He put a bag over the other one's head and shot him.
A hitman in Mount Thomas in 1969. It sounds very much like a gangster movie to me.
Why would homicide drive all the way up here to question a kid with an overactive imagination about what he may or may not have seen?
All right, Parrish, why don't you look into it?
Thank you very much. Bye. Homicide's going to fax up a copy of the file.
Which file would this be?
Career criminal Owen Taylor disappeared in 1969 from St David's. Never seen again.
You're drawing a very long bow.
Guess who they spoke to about the disappearance?
I'm sure I have no idea.
Lindsay Kavanagh. Still think I'm losing my marbles?
Well, it all sounds a bit far-fetched to me.
They never found Owen Taylor's body, which is why they didn't have enough evidence to charge anyone. Have a look at this. They even tried to dredge Lake Widgery. Thought he might have been sleeping with the Abbeys.
Yeah, well, Owen Taylor was about to roll over and give evidence to a royal commission.
Ah, which is why he was bumped off.
Well, so there was no sign of Lindsay at his caravan, and his car wasn't there either.
So why is this all coming out now?
Because they're about to knock down the cinema. When they dig it up, I'll bet you any money they'll also be digging up Owen Taylor.
The renovation started in June 1969 and finished about September.
Owen Taylor was last seen on June 9th.
Oh, right, so it's this section here was built on?
Yes, over the old car park.
What sort of floor does it have?
Concrete.
Yeah, concrete that is going to be ripped up when the cinema's demolished.
Look, if Owen Taylor is buried under that slab, the most we're going to find is a skeleton.
Or a hair the killer left behind, or anything else we can get DNA tested.
So the killer's going to want to dig up the remains and get rid of them.
And the best way into that slab is through the basement.
Go. Look at this, we got a hole.
Why would you dig two holes?
Tried the wrong spot in the first place, then tried another. That'd make a bit of noise, wouldn't it?
But there was a loud war movie going on. Maybe that's when they did the bulk of the digging.
Oh, and came back to finish the job today.
Just like I told you.
No sign of Owen Taylor. Looks like Lindsay got what he came for. It's not bloody good enough. I mean, have you any idea how much money I've got tied up in this?
I know.
Yeah, all the roads out of
man
town are
could go
closed off.
broke.
Luckily, St David's units were close by, so it didn't take them long
Not
to
a
set up.
demolition stage.
So we should have him by now.
Well, unless Lindsay went out before they closed the roads.
HK, I doubt it.
But if he did, he could be halfway to anywhere.
We'll have to hold off until crime scene can fully excavate that hole in the basement.
How long is that going to be?
A week, maybe more.
I've got bulldozers waiting to go. It is costing me a
I
fortune.
know, sir, but as I said before, I'm sorry, there's nothing more we can do.
Well, I'm going to knock the thing over regardless.
Well, in that case, you would be tampering with the evidence in a murder investigation.
No sign of Lindsay at his caravan.
Looks like your mate's done a runner.
He's not my mate.
His bag's not there.
If he did leave, it was in a hurry.
I'm sure there's a much simpler explanation.
The simple explanation is he's probably got a bag of bones as he's hit the highway.
I'd want to get out of town as quick as I could too.
Well, if he is heading out of town, he's going to run into a roadblock.
That was Chris. Lindsay just left the pub.
He was talking to that city bloke.
Ray Bradford.
Yeah, and it was all really chummy to start off with, and then when they went to go, it started to get a bit push and shove, you know.
How long ago was this?
Well, it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes, and so I called you lot straight away.
And they left together?
I followed them out to the car park, and that's when I saw Bradford shove Lindsay into the car.
What sort of car was it?
Lindsay's, it's that old HK. He's been driving for about 2,000 years.
Great. You're a champion.
Listen, now, there's Ray's Rego. His car's still out in the car park.
Great.
Thanks, Chris.
Just doesn't make sense. What were Lindsay and Bradford doing together in the first place?
Boss, they could have been involved together from the start.
That might explain the fight they had last night.
Some kind of falling out over what to do with Taylor's remains.
It sounded to me like Lindsay wasn't too keen to go with Bradford.
But he's involved somehow.
And who is Bradford anyway?
Oh, look, I'm checking up. I'm looking under other names. Bedford, Bedfield, Bradfield. There's nothing there.
Is that about Bradford's car?
Yeah, hired it in Melbourne on the weekend, gave a Fairfield address, Northcote CI on their way over.
Anything?
If they're in town, they're laying low.
Keep a patrol out there. I want Lindsay found.
Yes, boss.
Got something, boss. I started wading through the stuff they sent up and I found this Owen Taylor's known associates in 1969. Who does this remind you of? Add 30 years, lose the long hair and the beard.
Bradford.
Otherwise known as Raymond Digit Kelly.
Raymond Kelly. He's still active. Still very active by the looks of it. He's a nasty piece of work.
How far back does it go? 63?
63 for assault. Yeah, if there was a primary school at Pentridge, he would have been their star pupil. Then he moves on to armed robbery and then aggravated assault.
1969, Kelly was questioned by homicide about the disappearance of Owen Taylor.
Lindsay might have been the accomplice.
VKC to Mount Thomas 900.
900 receiving.
We've had a sighting of vehicle Kilo Echo Hotel 783.
Receive VKC. Can you advise a position?
Vehicle tried to avoid the roadblock on Widgery Road. St David's 208 came up in pursuit but lost the vehicle in the state forest.
Receive VKC. I'll send out all 3 units to assist. Do you have a location for the last sighting?
Affirmative 900. Vehicle last sighted on a fire track near the corner of Quarry and Wooddale Roads.
It's here, so they would have been heading in this direction.
Towards Lake Widgery.
Good place to dump a sack of bones.
Poor bloody Lindsay. All right, you two better get out there. I'll notify the others to meet you out there.
Right.
Got another unit at the end of the fire track set up.
Maintain those positions until you hear otherwise.
Will do.
Kelly knows we're after him, and we know what he's capable
of, so proceed with caution.
Understood.
No sign out here, boss.
Another unit from St David's is on its way to meet you. PJ's on the other fire track.
You'll have to cover things as best you can.
Received that. There's a lot of lake out here.
That's why we're trying to get to them before they get that far.
Okay.
Now, we're probably only about 5 minutes behind them, so we should be able to get them on a track.
Yeah, well, we'd better make it snappy. We're going to lose light soon.
For later.
Oh, thanks.
Didn't think you'd have a chance to eat. Any news on Lindsay?
No, and they're going to have to call it quits soon.
He'll be all right, Tom.
This, Bradford bloke's turned out to be a really dangerous character.
So what does he want with him?
We're not 100% sure.
He can look after himself.
Oh, he's way out of his league.
Is it true they found what's left of Owen Taylor under the bug house? I've got 2 crime scene blokes staying at the pub.
If he manages to bury those bones under the cover of dark, I don't like our chances of ever finding them again.
Yeah, well, it took 30 years to find them this time. Good place to put them.
That's right.
Putting up a house here, another one here, and there's a shop frontage on Penhope Road.
Which one's he pouring concrete at?
The townhouse, first thing in the morning.
Where's that?
Well, right here. You were there the other day getting a job for your mate.
Did Lindsay Kavanagh know you were going to be pouring concrete this morning?
Of course he did.
Boss, it's Tess. Given the possible danger, I really don't think you should be out there on your own.
Sergeant, I don't even know if he's going to be there.
We'll come back in and provide backup. It'll just take us a bit of time to get there.
No, I need you to stay right where you are. I need everybody to maintain their current positions until Digit Kelly is sighted. Is that understood?
Put your back in on you ugly bugger.
Thomas 260 portable BKC. Sighted the suspect Kelly at 51 Mill Street. On code 5. Request backup ASAP.
That arrest.
Oh, you'll have plenty of time to rest before the night is through.
Police, don't move.
Looks like you might be doing a bit more digging, Kavanagh. We've got company.
Even Mr. Croydon?
Put the gun down, Kelly.
Perhaps you should put yours down, copper.
You're gone, Kelly.
Keep out of this, Kavanagh.
My people are on their way. Drop the gun.
Now tell me, why should I do that?
Because I'll shoot you if I have to.
So will I, and I've had more practice.
On your stomach, hands behind your back. Teammates, Lens. It's a turn-up for the books.
I was just going to scare him.
So it was just a practical joke, then?
Make him dig the hole. Bit of a laugh, that's all.
Bit of a laugh at my expense as well, eh? What about the contents of the sack you had with you?
That was his.
You know what's inside?
Yeah.
Bit louder for the tape, please.
I know what's in the sack. It's what's left of Owen Taylor.
Do you know Owen Taylor?
He was a mate of mine. He's the reason I wanted to give the old bugger a scare. Lindsay topped Owen.
When was this?
1969.
How do you know this?
He admitted it. Knocked him off, buried him somewhere. I made him dig him up so I could give Owen a proper burial.
I killed Owen now, did I?
Did you know him?
Knew him, didn't kill him.
Digit Kelly says you did. And until we hear back from forensic on Owen Taylor's remains, it's his word against yours.
I told you, Mr. Croydon, I'm not a lagger.
This goes way beyond lagging. Homicide will have to reopen the case.
Well, I'm happy to talk. Why should I do their work for them?
Where did you find Owen Taylor's remains?
I didn't find them.
But you knew where they were.
I do now.
This is serious. You could go back to jail for this. Now, you knew where the remains were.
All right. I'll give you a clue. You might want to check back through your records in 1969. I seem to remember I was away when Owen was bumped off.
Away where?
Pentridge, Miss Parrish, and I'm not proud of it. Always suspected he did, poor old Owen.
But you didn't say anything to anyone?
Couldn't be sure.
Even if you had been, you wouldn't have passed on the information, would you?
Never give it much thought. Until Digit turned up in town. Your blokes have been grilling me all day about digging tunnels under the bug house. And there's Digit after all these years. Recognised him in the pub as soon as I clapped eyes on him.
So that's what tipped you off?
It wasn't hard to put two and two together.
Why didn't you come to me?
Fair go, Mr. Croydon. Digit's a maggot, but at least he's on my side of the fence. Not about to turn any respectable crim over to your lot if I can help it. Isn't done.
So you paid him a visit in his room at the Imperial?
Went to have a bit of a chinwag, yeah.
And he gave you a good thump for your trouble?
Must have struck a nerve.
You didn't ask him for money, did you?
Mr. Croydon.
Because that would be blackmail.
Well, it wouldn't be right, would it? Blackmailing a murderer?
You're never going to change, are you, Linz?
Are you happy with the way the police have treated you here tonight?
Always happy with the service here. Mr. Croydon runs a tight ship. I guess I'll be seeing you.
Yeah, I guess you will.
Boss, can I have a word?
I'm going to knock the old flea pit down.
It's not a flea pit.
Well, it's pretty bloody crap.
Gentlemen, please. Come on. Constable Parrish?
I've been looking at the documents lodged with the council for the permit, and I noticed plans for a conference room.
That's right.
And what happens in this conference room?
Lectures, video presentations, usual sort of business.
So it's a theaterette, really.
I'm being ambushed here.
You won't be using this theatre every night, will you, Billy?
No, but...
And you could do quite well out of showing films for local business, couldn't you? Small festivals with the appropriate sponsorship?
Possibly.
And you'd need someone to run it for you.
I won't play any crap.
I'm sure you could negotiate the finer details between yourselves, couldn't you?
What do you think, Harrison?
I suppose there's no harm in talking.
Well, why don't you go and talk somewhere else so I can drink my water in peace, will you?
Well, Louis, that looks like it could be the start of a beautiful friendship.
If you think I'm going to say, here's looking at you, kid, you've got another thing coming, Parrish.